So good morning, everybody. Good to see you this morning. We're going to continue our classes on the evangelism training. And this morning we're doing invitation card training. You may wonder, what's invitation cards? What are they? There's these. Can everybody see this? I'm going to be passing these. As soon as we start the video, I'm going to hand these out to folks, just so that you have one for reference, and also one of these cards also. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to listen to Rob for about 5 minutes, and then to me for about 10 minutes, and then Brother Nick's going to do a class on mentoring. So if Brother Lucas or Ari, if you could hit the play button on this thing.
Welcome to Reaching the Lost Success Strategies. Last year, we introduced to you the invitation card. When I was visiting at the Lake City congregation in Florida, Brother T.J. Gifford, he's a soul winner, he introduced to us a card that they pass out to members. And they ask the members each week to invite people to come to church. I was a little bit skeptical and not thinking that a simple invitation card would result in visitors. TJ assured me, Rob, people are visiting because of the card. So we took that idea to the Glencoe Church of Christ, where we are members. I went to the elders. I said, well, let's try it here at Glencoe. And we did. The result came almost immediately. We asked the members at Glencoe, just invite people. Lay it on a table at a restaurant. Give it to a gas station attendant. Or provide it maybe to a bank teller. Sister Karen Drenner did that very thing. Sister Drenner gave it to her bank teller. And her bank teller is named Catherine. She gave her the invitation card. Now, that card has a lot of information on it. It invites them personally to visit our services. And that's what happened. Catherine came to church. When she came to church, we immediately followed the process, what to do when visitors come, inviting her out to eat, getting to know her, eventually getting to that Bible study, and she became a Christian. This was exciting. Sister Drenner's effort of just an invitation card resulted in a soul being saved. And now, because of that, we have access to family and friends of Ms. Catherine, and we're trying to help them become Christians from a simple invitation card. Now, since that time, we have taken some interest in redesigning it to try to add more useful information. So we are now printing those and able to customize the card. In other words, you send us a picture of the church building. You tell us the services your congregation offers. Of course, you're going to give us an address and service times and some other information. We'll create a QR code that takes people to your congregational website, has a space for you to put down your name because it's a special invitation, whether it's someone at work that you just hand it to, maybe it's someone at school, maybe it's someone on a ball team, a club, maybe you're just sitting down at a restaurant. I'll just be honest. I love the invitation card because there are times that I meet people. These are cold contacts, folks I really don't know. We don't have time to, engage in a relationship building exercise. I'm just checking out, and it allows me to at least do something. Every person I meet, I want to do something. And so if it's just giving them that card and inviting them to come to our worship services, a little bit of something is better than a whole lot of nothing. So now the cards have been redesigned, we're printing them, and we're able to help you reach out to your local community. Now, since that time last year, when Brother Gifford suggested this, and he was instrumental in designing and helping get these out, Brother TJ said, Rob, there were a lot of requests. We've been hearing back from you. So in the Reaching the Lost update, we're hearing from you. People are coming to church because of these cards. So this is a very effective cold contact creator, even a warm contact creator, maybe someone you know. So we're encouraging you, that is a congregation, an individual evangelist, a Christian. If you're not using these, start now. If you've run out, start now. Order more, because this is a simple tool. You don't have to be a preacher. All you got to do is care. Do you care about your fellow man? Do you care about your neighbor? Do you want people to go to heaven? Here's our suggestion. Pass these out to the church preach a sermon. We're going to give you the sermon. It's now on our website. Take that sermon on invitation and inviting, how Jesus invited people. We have a training card to help train the church. Put them in bundles of 10 every single month. Hand out bundles to everyone. Don't just put it on a table and hope they take it. Be proactive. Be intentional about it. Make sure members have it in their hand. If you'll do that, hand them out. You're going to get more visitors. Those are great contacts. So this is a tool that works. We hope that you'll take interest in this. Do everything you can to reach out to your community. Invitation cards. It's time to use them. To God be the glory, and may souls be saved.
We just went and...
I missed the music. Oh, I'm just kidding. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're talking about these cards here. Rob mentioned they had an entire sermon for these invitation cards. We're not going to go through that entire sermon, but I do have a few points that I want to pull out of what he had. So developing contacts through our members is one of the most productive avenues to achieve success in the contact step of the house-to-house model. The first step was to ask everybody to do the bookmarks, and those are starting to become a little bit more prolific. So we thank everybody for the names that you've turned in. And now we're looking for different ways to produce contacts, and as he mentioned, this can be a good, this invitation card, or I guess we used to call it the business card, the church business card maybe. But now let's think of them as invitation cards, another way to produce contacts. So making direct contact with others is becoming more and more difficult in our virtual world. We order through apps, we work at home, and we interact through social media. Or at least some of us do. However, contacts drive all the rest of the evangelism steps. And without contacts, we don't have anyone to prospect. Without prospects, we have no one to visit. Without the transitional visits, there'll be few Bible studies. And without Bible studies, there'll be no baptisms. And without baptisms, no souls are saved. So the purpose of these cards, as was mentioned, is to invite those that we meet to our church services. And at times it's awkward to know how to approach someone or to know what to say. Using cards allows us to keep conversations casual while delivering the needed information. I did this this week. I'm trying to remember the day it came out. Thursday. Our furnace guy came out. First time I've ever done this, but as I was saying thank you for coming out, I handed him one of our cards, and he didn't throw it back at me, which is good. He said, "Thank you very much. I'll think about it." So you just never know who's gonna take you up on your invitation with this card. Now, so a couple of things about the card. This QR code is going to be your best friend. I can't believe I'm saying that, but if hopefully they'll have a phone. I mean, not everybody does, but if they have a phone and they take a picture of this will take them right to our website. The website has all kinds of good information on it. When you give somebody your card, it might be helpful if you feel comfortable to write your name on the back so that when they come, they'll know who to ask for. If you feel really comfortable with the person you're handing it out to, put your phone number on it so they know who to contact for other questions. Now, we've got a couple of things that we've still got to rework on the card. We don't have an email address on it, and we don't have a live body phone number. So if somebody calls this number, they're going to have to leave a message, and sometimes that can dissuade people. So that's something, the men are aware of that, and we're working on coming up with a solution for that.
Do we have a lot of these cards? Where the members can all have a card?
We're going to talk about that. Actually, we don't have a lot of these cards right now, but we will reorder, but we want to see what changes we might need to make before we reorder, maybe. We'll see. But yes, we don't have a whole lot back there because we've been using them, I guess. Let's see. Say-
Probably have about a month's supply between what's there and what's in the other room.
Oh, you have some in the other room too? Okay. The ones back here we got like half a box, I think, a third of a box. Okay. So we can also place these invitation cards in our compassion cards that go out to folks. The last cards we sent out in the last group meeting, compassion card group signing for the individuals who had already received their 10 cards a week, and now they'd moved on to one card with a lot of people signing it. An invitation card was sent out, and a compassion card, invitation card was sent out, and then this was also included in it. So that's one way to or if you're sending out personal cards to people, you can also add one of these in. Now, I'll read what some of the venues that Rob has mentioned here. He says, pass them out to people around town at local stores and restaurants. Try handing them out at ball games, fairs, flea markets. Give one to your bank teller, waiter, food delivery people, insurance agent, mechanic, grocery clerk, parents at school events, friends, family members, and neighbors. All kinds of folks that we might come in contact with that we might be able to give this card to. And as Rob mentioned, many people have responded just because of this invitation card that was given to them. Now, when you give someone a card, you should not seek a conversion. Now's not the time or even a Bible study. This is to invite them to come here. And because perhaps just an invitation is what someone needs to respond. And this is kind of an easy way to invite people. Now, people who do not want the card will throw them away when you leave. Some people will respond that they're happy attending somewhere else. But in any case, they cannot claim a judgment that you never mentioned him to me. But people who have their interest sparked will initiate a conversation, and hopefully we can turn that conversation into a visit. So, we're asking members to hand out 10 of these each month. So that's why we need more. Because if there are 100 folks that are handing out invitation cards, that's 1,000 a month. And that's 12,000 a year. So 12,000 invitations per year. That's a great way to reach the many. And out of those 12,000, some souls will be saved. I'm sure you've heard that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. And although the first steps can be the scariest or the hardest, they're needed, they're crucial. An important step in evangelism is building relationships with people we do not know. And that's the way to make contacts into prospects. As Rob said, a little bit of something is better than a whole lot of nothing. So, we may get visitors. When you hand out these cards, think positively. They may come. They will come. And so be looking for anybody you've handed these cards out to, be looking for them to visit. And when they come, greet them with joy. Sit with them, speak to them. Alert the visitor team. So right now that's Ron. So alert the visitor team. And give them a visitor bag. Let the visitor team help with the conversations. Let Brother Lynn know that they're visiting. And also invite them out to eat or ask them to get together again. Try to build that relationship. Now, once people have attended services the first time, it becomes more comfortable for them to attend a worship service again because they know where to sit, for one thing. I've been there. I know where the seats are, you know. And they're very, very nice people, and they care about me. But the key is to invite them. We won't get them through the door to Christ unless we invite them. So, in James 4:8, and I'm at the end of my time here. James 4:8 states, we must draw near to God, and then He will draw near to us. Let us create a chance for people to draw near to God. Let us give them an invitation to draw near to God. Let us go out and invite people like Matthew 22:9 suggests. Go out to the street corners and invite anyone you find to the banquet. Matthew 22:14 says, many are called. I think 12,000 counts as many. But few are chosen. How do we find the many? By going wherever they gather. Luke 14, verses 13 through 14. When you give a feast, invite the poor, the maimed, the lame, the blind, and you will be blessed. We need to invite not only the people closest to us, but people we meet on a daily basis. And again, worst case, they throw away the invitation card. But best case, they visit. They become prospects. And eventually, prayerfully, they become fellow citizens of the kingdom. So are there any questions about this? We'll get more cards. Terry?
I have a suggestion, if you're going to be remodeling those cards, to have a place where you put our name and phone number on it so they have a way of contacting the person who gave it to them.
Yep. That,
I think it's very important.
yes. So make sure you remember that because I'm not writing it down and I won't remember.
They do work. I've handed them out, and I've had somebody come here because I handed them the card. So.
Okay. All righty. Thank you. Yep.
I just had a suggestion on the phone number. You said something about how most of the time there's no answer the phone. At our last congregation, we were pretty small, about 50 people. And what we did was we got a cell phone, and we did what's called a remote call forward number. And so when people called the number, it would forward to the cell phone. And
Okay.
Lynn could have it on him, and they would direct calls to him. Or in our case, we didn't have a preacher, we didn't have leadership. So certain families that were at least in some kind of leadership role would take turns, like one month having the phone and answering it during
It's a good
the day.
idea.
It's just
Yeah.
a suggestion, but before we only had a answer machine and nobody was checking it, and we had like 100 messages on there, and never caught it when people would call for, what the hours were, and they could visit, and just different things. And once we got that remote call forward, that cell phone, like I said, either Lynn could have it or some of those leaders in the congregation, we were able to then start answering phone calls and answering people's questions. So
Okay.
just a suggestion.
Good idea.
Rotate.
Yeah.
That's what-
That phone, all you have to do from the office is just press #72, and then you just dial in Lane's cell number or put a cell number, and it's forwarded.
Well, somebody has to be at the office to do the #72.
And then you just shut it off, you hit pound or *73.
We discussed this at our last business meeting about this initially, so we might start to do this where we might have it where it forwards to Lynn.
I'll go check it today.
But we're working on that.
Yeah, so thank you, Ron.
Check it. I think you moved.
Thanks, Tyler. Okay. Well, sorry.
I have a separate one. I was thinking about tip jars. This would be a good
Oh,
opportunity. I know
tip
that,
jars.
Debbie has a really good idea of like getting $2 bills and giving them out. I think you mentioned before. Doing something kind of unusual.
That's unusual.
Yeah, but wrapping maybe a $2 bill around this with a paper clip or something and sticking it in a tip jar, that will stick $2 bill. First of all, that'll make it stand out because we just don't have this in circulation much anymore. And then when they take the money off and they take the tip off, then they can see our card. Because sometimes you just have a tip jar, say at Dutch Brothers or whatever, you can't really talk to somebody, just stick it in there. You have a tip on it or whatever with the card.
Okay.
And we see tip jars all over the place.
That's a good idea.
Good opportunity to drop these off.
So when I sit down, I'll be writing all these things down as best as I can remember, but if I come back and ask you again, please don't be offended that I didn't remember it. So, any other questions or any other suggestions? All righty, well, we'll, oh, sorry, Terry, go ahead.
Or I suggest that we all pray for our success.
Yes, thank you. I hope we already are. But thank you. Okay, that's all I have, and Brother Nick has something on mentoring. Thank you.
I'm going to keep it super short. New converts need mentors. All right. No, I'm just kidding. No, there's more to it than that. You know, one of the things I like about the invitation cards or business cards is about 10 years ago, the company I was working for at the time decided because of iPhones that they were going to go away from business cards. And it didn't last very long before we realized nobody was calling us anymore. And it's still, I get business cards at business meetings all the time, and that's the only way when I get back home that I will ever remember to save that person's information or even think about them again. So I think it's highly probable that somebody will remember us when we hand them a business card versus if we give them nothing and just say, hey, come to this church over here on Elm Street, and then my mind starts thinking a nightmare on Elm Street, and then I'm gone. You know, I'm somewhere else, and I'll never remember again. You know, even if we hand out a couple thousand cards a month, surely one or two people will visit, right? Surely one or two. And if that costs us $20, what's the value of a soul? So there's people I run across all the time, and I wish I had something to give them. So I'm excited about the invitation cards. Mentoring is just something we're going to touch on really quickly. The summary here really is that we have often, and if you guys have been members of any church for any period of time, you probably remember people that have shown up, gotten baptized, and then we don't ever see them again. Or, they show up for a few months, and then we never see them after that, or they fall away or something. I can think of people that were here in the last couple of years that's happened to, and it's really sad to think about, right? Statistically, in many different walks of life, mentoring is the only way that you can retain new people. Woody Hayes, who was considered an elite coach at Ohio State University, was big on mentoring. He said that his mentors were Lou Holtz, Bo Schembechler, Urban Meyer, Jim Tressel, and Earl Bruce. Those are big name coaches, right? And what he says is that success breeds success. If we want our new converts to succeed and be viable, flourishing, robust servants in Christ's army, we must not neglect their spiritual growth. Philippians 3:17 says, "Brethren, join in following my example and note those who walk in it as you have us for a pattern." So mentoring is not meant to elevate any of us. It's meant to elevate Christ. Paul said to imitate him in 1 Corinthians chapter 4, "Imitate me just as I also imitate Christ." A mentor is somebody that should be a good example to a new convert of how to be a Christian, how to live a Christian life. So we need to be making sure that if we want to mentor others, that we've got our stuff together, right? The worst thing ever would be to mentor somebody and then they see you at the bar next week. I don't think that'd go over really well. One of the other things that we seem to forget about is when this printed out, it printed out completely unorganized how I wanted it. Either that or I screwed it up, so I'm trying to find a few things. It's probably me screwing it up. Oh. So, no, that's not it either. Oh, so this model of mentoring has also been successful for other programs like Weight Watchers, right? Assigning somebody who can counsel dieters that has been through it before usually helps them stay successful with their diet. We may have already gone over just about everything. So what we're wanting to do here is, when this program really starts working, we get really excited about having new converts. What we don't want to do is then forget about them. So if you're interested in being a mentor to somebody that's a new convert, please let me know. We've got a few people that have already signed up. I've got your surveys. Those who have signed up for being mentors will probably be called on. Rob suggests contacting these people every day if you're the mentor. I feel like that's probably overkill, and we should probably take it on a case-by-case basis. Some people may need that. Some people may ask for that, but I know if you called me 4 days in a row or texted me 4 days in a row, I'd be like, hey, bro, give me some space here. And if you've got multiple mentors, that could get a little overwhelming. So I think we just need to take it on a case-by-case basis and make sure that we are at least fulfilling the needs of those that we hopefully convert here soon. It's also bouncing around congregations the past 5 years or so before we found Windsor. It was also a lonely feeling to show up somewhere and sit by yourself and nobody come up to you afterwards and things like that. So we also, as mentors, want to make sure that at least we are the ones coming up to them after services, making them feel welcome. If no one else is, at least we are the ones willing to sit next to them. It's a very simple process. There is a mentoring program that Rob suggests that we go through with them, which is a little bit more formal, but there will be mentors needed that we just call keepers in this program, just to help keep people coming, keep them motivated. So if you don't want to be on the front lines, so to speak, as far as whether it be door knocking or Bible studies or something, these passing out invitation cards and being a mentor are easy ways that you could help new converts and really help the evangelism as this group focuses more and more on that. So if that's something of interest to you, please let me know. If you did not already sign up for that, we could use as many mentors as we can get. So any questions or comments or anything? Otis?
The mentorship, you mentioned, you kind of touched on it just a little bit, that it doesn't have to be, I gather that's what you might have said, doesn't have to be just that one particular person. It's also a good thing to introduce the people that are interested into somebody else as well. Because the more that people in the congregation know that this person is getting mentored, the better off it's going to be for them overall to meet more people that are willing to do that as well.
Yeah, no, good point. And to provide a little bit more clarity, we want one mentor assigned to a new convert to actually go through the new convert mentorship with them, which is just a few classes here and there, in addition to them attending the new converts class. But we want a few other mentors. He says he recommends at least 4. We want a few others just to make sure that they are looking for that person when that person shows up, whether it's to, just greet them, sit by them, whatever, just to make them feel welcome. But like Otis is saying, you can never have too many people like that. The point of assigning somebody is just to make sure that we all don't think someone else is doing it, right? Debbie?
Well, and in the congregation we were at before here, we had a deal where it wasn't the same person going through each of the lessons. That way they met 3, 4 different couples instead of the same person going through. One of the things that I see sometimes is you tend to monopolize, and it's, they're seeing the same people all the time. Sometimes if you brought somebody new, you need to back off and let other people spend time with them, because otherwise they don't get to meet anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, after one class with me, they may fall away just thinking they have 3 more classes with me. So that's a really good idea to have different people do different classes, right? With that person. And if we've got 4 mentors signed up for each new convert, very doable.
One of the things I know when we came the first time, we met so many people. This is such a loving congregation. We were greeted by a lot when we came in the door. In the interim between class and worship, we had a lot of people that came and talked to us and told us their name, and it helped us immensely to feel comfortable. And then after services, it was the same thing. We met so many people. It's really a comfort. I agree with the mentorship, 100%. But I also noticed one thing about this congregation is a lot of people greet visitors, and that's an awesome thing.
And we're probably going to announce this again, but if you are interested in how we're going to approach visitors and greet them, Ron's having a quick meeting right after services up here today. Up here? Yeah, and we're actually going to have our first meeting about visitors and how we're going to approach greeting them. But yeah, it's night and day difference when you show up somewhere and you're greeted by a bunch of people versus feeling like, well, I guess I'm just the odd man out here, right? Totally different experience versus whether or not you want to come back to that group again. And in case you didn't recognize that voice, that's Cheryl McGowan. She's back. Cheryl and Gary are back out of retirement. I'm just kidding. It's good to have y'all. Good to see y'all back. I didn't even see you here until I started passing out cards. Good to have you guys back. That's all we have for today's class, unless there's any other comments or anything. This is, yes, ma'am.
Oh, I just wanted to say that I think it's good that we all know all of the different, I don't want to say positions, but the different angles of handling all of this as far as the school evangelism is concerned. Because even if we don't feel like something is our gift or something that we're good at, I think the more we know, the better it is for everybody in the congregation, even if that's not something that we're going to pursue. So even just learning how to interact with visitors, even if that's not something that we've signed up for, where we're standing at the door and we're meeting people, I think it's still good information for everybody to know. The more that we know, the more educated the congregation is, the more involved we can be, even if we're not specifically in a group or we actually signed up for something. It's like anything else, the more we educate ourselves, the better understanding that we have of things. And then say you're thrust into that, say you're by the front door and you just came out of the bathroom and somebody walks in and there's nobody there. Instead of being, well, that's not my job, I didn't sign up for that, we kind of have the information to know in the moment the things that we can do. And who knows, maybe that'll grow us in certain areas that will lead to other gifts that God can give us.
So we're not just supposed to turn around and walk off in that situation? Okay. All right, I won't do that. No, that's a good point. And this is the final weekend, unless I'm misspeaking, this is the final weekend of us going over this house-to-house program in class and in service. And this is very much, it was an advertisement of each section of the program. And if you want to get more involved in one of these sections of the program that we've been over, it's kind of just been an overall knowledge of what we're going to be doing. If at any point you want to dive into one of these areas a little bit further, you're always welcome. We'll always, this will be continuing in the background. You'll probably just hear announcements about it here and there every Sunday. But this is kind of wrapping up the overview of just letting everybody in the congregation know what we're going to be doing, what our focus is going forward with our evangelism. So if you want to be involved with any of those things, please let me know. But just like the comments in class today, you can come be part of the meeting to gain some knowledge on what our approach is going to be, and that doesn't mean you have to be part of that program. So feel free to at least attend and listen, if nothing else. All right, well, thank you all. Thank you for your time and attention.